Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube tech guy. Hey guys, so the day is finally here. We have it, the top 10 smartphones of 2018. We will find out which is the absolute best smartphone in 2018. And I have to say, it has been a great year in terms of smartphones, in terms of mid-rangers really stepping it up, in terms of entry levels even getting better, and flagships, although they're too overpriced, some of them really had just everything you could want a smartphone in 2018. So let's get to it. But before we do, we have to get started with the honorable mentions. So the honorable mentions this year is down to 4 phones: the Huawei P20 Pro, the Razer Phone 2, the Asus ROG Phone, and the Moto G6 Plus. Each of these are great phones in their own aspect, but they just did not make it. The P20 was clearly overshadowed and hasn't dropped in price as much as I would like to recommend it. The Razer Phone 2 was great, but just such heavy competition for similar spec and better spec phones out there. Same with the ROG Phone, and the Moto G6 unfortunately did not take it this year for the best entry-level smartphone. There was one that overtook it and that was able to beat it. Alright, so number 10 was a very late entry, but one that I am actually getting as of tomorrow, and that is the Vivo Nex dual display smartphone. Now, why is this such a big and great smartphone to end off the top 10 list and beat the other honorable mentions? Well, it's because of the fact that this smartphone has really done something amazing, and that is they took my vision for getting rid of the notch and they brought it to life. Now, to be fair, the Nubia X did it first, but in my opinion, between the two, the Vivo Nex dual display seems to be a bit better and a bit better priced between the two. So this comes with a Snapdragon 845, 128 gigs of storage, 10 gigs of RAM, 3,500 milliamp battery, which I'm a little bit worried about, but hey, that's the same about as an S9 Plus, and we have 12 megapixel f1.8 rear camera, 1080p AMOLED display, 2 AMOLED displays to be a matter of fact, a fingerprint scanner on the display. This is supposed to be their 4th generation, if I'm not mistaken, one, or 5th generation even, so really innovative in terms of that. They were the first ones to have it last year at CES. And overall, I'm just really looking forward to testing this phone out. But for 10 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 845 and 128 gig, as low as $740. Yes, the links will be in the description down below if you want to get a phone like this kind of specs right now. Yeah, I'm going to test it out and see how it does, but if you want to buy it, the links are down below. Alright, the next phone, and this was the best in terms of definitely the best for the price this year. I absolutely fell in love with it, and that is the Honor 8X. The Honor 8X was really an amazing smartphone that definitely stood out this year in terms of low price point, starting at $250, going all the way up to $300 for just really amazing specs. You have an amazing processor on this phone. You have storage of 64 or 128 with SD card, 4 gigs or 6 gigs RAM, 3,750 milliamp battery. That's huge for that price range. 20 megapixel rear camera with f1.8. Decent camera, especially in day shots. The day shots were actually really good on this smartphone. And all the other specs, while just having, again, a really good looking design, and one that I think a lot of people would be happy to sport. And for this price point, you're not going to find a better phone in this price range. I definitely think it's by far the best smartphone that you could get in 2018 with this price range, and would definitely recommend it if you're going for a $300 and under smartphone. Now we move on to the next device, which this year, number 8, I know I'm going to get flack for this, but it's the iPhone XS. Now I did forget to mention that we will only be highlighting one version of the regular phones and Plus phones variant, and I will pick the best one. In my opinion, this year is easily the iPhone XS. It's far better than the Plus because for the price difference, you're really not getting much, especially not getting a better battery, which is a really crying shame. But the iPhone XS starts at $1,000, which is why it's so low on this list, because as you'll see, almost every other smartphone is cheaper than it and has better and more features overall than the iPhone XS. It goes all the way down to $1,300 depending on the storage size you get, of 64, 256, or 512. Now it has the best processor this year. That definitely highlights it for sure. The A12 Bionic. It is the first 7nm processor to come out. Not the only one, but the first one. And really the battery life isn't as good. Again, 2658 milliamp milliamp battery. Camera on it is good, definitely not in the top 3 this year though. The camera on the iPhone is lacking compared to other smartphone cameras nowadays. It really just needs to step it up, and if you want proof, just go ahead and take a look at our camera comparisons between the iPhone XS Max and the other top smartphones, and you'll see the difference. Overall, I think the iPhone really did well with an OLED display, wireless charging, waterproofing, but it definitely is a bummer that you don't have fast charging out of the box as well as fast charging wirelessly, and it really just doesn't have anything amazing compared to every other smartphone with the exception of iOS. And for a lot of people, that's enough. For people that are open to any operating system, it's not. It really just isn't comparable to a lot of the other smartphones that came out this year. And this is an S year for Apple, so again, next year they easily can get in the top 5, if not even the top 1, but we'll have to wait and see. Now the next phone was a very interesting one that just came out of nowhere and that definitely surprised a lot of people, and that is the Xiaomi Pocophone. Now the big thing about this smartphone is that it gave you the very top processor on the market, and the starting price is $230. That is insane. However, I do like to always point out 2 things. One, that is not the review phone that everyone got. So all the smartphone reviewers out there, they got the $600 variant, which again, it does go all the way up to that price range, and it's a big difference overall. I think a lot of people would like both variants, of course, but at the $230 price range, you still get a Snapdragon 845, 64 gigs, and 6 gigs of RAM with the 4000 milliamp battery. So it's not too shabby even for the entry-level version of it. But if you do get the higher end, of course, you get better and better spec. Overall though, just having so much is so great. But the second thing I have to point out is even Xiaomi agreed, for all those who doubted me, that it does not work in the US. It is not meant to work in the US, and the bands were not made to work in the US. So that was the biggest bummer for me. Of course, a US smartphone reviewer, I could not really use it fairly in the US because it just would have been a lie. So therefore I didn't really review it, and overall it looked like a great phone. I got to see it at the Xiaomi event. Really interested in what Xiaomi has to bring to the US if they come next year in 2019, but overall I cannot wait to see it and see what it has to offer. Number 6, the Samsung Galaxy S9. The Samsung Galaxy S9 took the number 6 spot, and it really is an all-around great phone, and you can get it as cheap as $500 now. Now it does range all the way up to $850 depending on your storage size. In the US, we only got the default 64 gig of storage. However, you can get 128 or 256 if you get it online now, even on places like Amazon that are linked down below. Now it does have some of the best things out there. It has arguably the best rear camera in terms of hardware. It also has great fast wireless charging, and IP68 water resistance, and a headphone jack, all at this price range for $500. I think at $500, it's honestly almost impossible to beat, if maybe not for a few smartphones for a little bit more money, but overall at $500, this is really a great buy to get. And even when it's all the way up to $850 for the bigger storage sizes, I think you're going to be happy with this smartphone. Now for number 5, we have a really great smartphone, one that I loved using while on vacation, and that is the LG V40. This smartphone is the envisioning that I have had for a long time of a triple camera. I absolutely love this. This is my go-to smartphone. Out of all the smartphones I had on vacation, this was my go-to one for the triple camera setup. I loved having the wide angle when I wanted a wide angle shot, the telephoto when I wanted a zoom shot. It really promised a lot. The reason why I think it's so low as number 5 is because of its price point versus other competitors. I think LG priced it too high at $900. I think they should have kept it at $800 as a starting price, and then when it went on sale, it could have gone as low as $700. As of now, it's $750 to $900 depending on if it's on sale or not. 64 gigs of storage, 6 gigs of RAM, and the thing that really hurt it also was the battery size of 3300 milliamp battery. It really is low compared to other smartphones in the same price range. And I think if LG would have put a 4000 milliamp battery in it, it would have easily cracked the top 3. So all in all, this was a year when LG I think could have tried a little harder, but the triple camera setup was amazing, and I really look forward to see what LG has to do next year. Now our number 4 is the Google Pixel 3. Now, as you can see here, I chose the Pixel 3 easily over the Pixel 3 XL because the Pixel 3 XL is overpriced and doesn't offer you pretty much anything compared to the Pixel 3. If you take the notch real estate away, as we've shown plenty of times, it pretty much is negligible compared to the Pixel 3, and the Pixel 3 has pretty much the same exact battery life as the Pixel 3 XL. So yeah, get the Pixel 3, it's a much better buy and it's $100 less. So overall, this arguably had the best rear camera on the market in the past year and definitely the best selfie shooter. I don't think there is an argument there. Overall, it's really great when it comes to that. However, the 4 gigs of RAM definitely held it back. Overall, it just stuttered at times when you use it as a power user. If you're a light user, hey, you'll never notice an issue with this, but 4 gigs of RAM really had so many apps closing all the time. Even with the latest software updates, I still notice issues with it, so I just wish it had some better features. Also, I really don't like that it only charges fast wireless charging with the Pixel stand. I think that was a really just Apple-like thing for Google to do, to be quite honest, and I think it really messed them up in terms of reviewers' eyes and also consumers' eyes, especially because I have lots of wireless fast chargers, but none of them work on the Pixel. So that kind of really sucks, Google. All in all, our number 3 was definitely the best one that most people should get this year in 2018, and that is the OnePlus 6T. OnePlus 6T is an amazing smartphone, definitely, and it's only shown the growth of OnePlus over this past year. Getting into the US market really handily with T-Mobile now, getting it free or half off like I did, it really stands out, especially when normal price, it already starts off at $550 and goes up to $700 if you get the highest end model with 10 gigs of RAM. But even at the entry level model, you get 6 gig, 128, 3700 battery, a really good camera. I will not say that it's still in the league of, I would say, the top 5. I would say the other top 5 have better cameras than the OnePlus 6T, but what does it is the bang for your buck. You can get 2 of these for the prices of most of these other phones. So all in all, it really is amazing just how quickly you get updates. Had the fingerprint display scanner, it really is good and it does get better as time goes by. All in all, I've really enjoyed this smartphone, and again, definitely it would probably be the number 1 recommendation for most people if you just want a good solid phone and don't want to break the bank. Now, number 2 is another controversial one. Why? Because really it is having a very controversial year, and that is the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. This smartphone I have not only fallen in love with, but it is such a great phone. It has the fastest processor on Android, the Kirin 980, which is 7 nanometers. It is at a really good discount right now on a lot of websites because of all the controversial stuff that Huawei is going through, as well as $600 all the way up to $1,300 for the highest end model. But you definitely are seeing discounts in it right now, and I think it's because it is a possibility this can get banned in the US from being sold. So people are trying to sell it now before it gets it. Unfortunately, that's what I'm doing. However, I will say that the camera quality has been amazing. It really is a great solid camera, and I would definitely say it's in the top 3 smartphone cameras of the year. I will also say that it is the absolute best battery life. I think we got over 11 hours of screen on time with it, which I've never gotten on any other smartphone as a power user, where streaming video, navigation, split screen, gaming, everything you could think of that drains your smartphone, this handled it easily. So all in all, this is just an amazing smartphone, and one that I would definitely recommend that everyone buy. It's a great smartphone. The biggest downside to it is Huawei itself, is the issues that Huawei is facing as a company, and that is what hurts it the most. Otherwise, I think it would be definitely the best smartphone of the year. It got close, and I definitely think Huawei has an easy shot of getting number 1 next year. But the number 1 smartphone of 2018 is the reigning, defending champion, and that is the Galaxy Note 9 from Samsung. The Galaxy Note 9, what can I say? It is the best all-around smartphone you can possibly get. Starts as low as $700 right now if you find a good sale, up to $1,250 for the 512 gig storage variant with 8 gigs of RAM with 4000 milliamp battery with the best hardware low light camera you can get, where you don't have to stand perfectly still, unlike a lot of other smartphones that are currently doing that. It does have a rear fingerprint scanner or iris scanner. You have fast wireless charging, you have fast charging, and you have water resistance. Really, you have all the extras, and you do have the S Pen for that added functionality. All in all, in my opinion, it is easily the best smartphone of the year, just because when I look at every single other smartphone that we've gone through, this one is better. There's a reason why I have always 2 smartphones every single day, and the Note has not left my side since I bought it. All in all, the Note 9 is the best smartphone of 2018. It really has just been an incredible year for smartphones, and in that incredible year, Samsung came away with it in the end. I definitely still think if you watched our thank you Samsung video for keeping away the notch, for still having the headphone jack, for still doing things like that, and really standing out from the pack, giving us a better version of Android in terms of software add-ons that are good, not all the bloatware stuff, but the ones that are good, it really stood out this year. And hopefully we'll get even better in 2018, but we'll have to wait and see. There's some serious competition from a lot of great smartphones coming out, so let me know. Who do you think was the best smartphone of 2018? Which smartphone do you have at the end of 2018? And which smartphone are you most looking forward to in 2019? Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.